Season.
Yeah, I feel like, to start with, it was a great day for everyone at Ford. To have two of our cars up front, and the 22 obviously ran well as well. It was a great day. For the two cars specifically, it was going to be a good day. But then all of a sudden, within a lap, it turned into a great day for us. For our team, it's great to see. We've had a lot of progress this year, and I feel like we've been building towards this to be able to compete for wins. So to be able to get it was a great day.
All right, we'll go ahead and open up to questions. We'll start right up here and then go to Bob.
Hey, Brad Harris from FrontStretch.com. I know the 12. Brad Harris from FrontStretch.com. I know the 12 has a fuel issue slate. Did you all feel like you were short lane, or did you feel confident in what you had there?
No, honestly, at that point, we felt like we were in a good position. Obviously, on that last stop, everyone's trying to be as quick as they can. But we were in a fortunate position where I felt pretty good about it.
All right, we're going to go to Bob as soon as he gets the mic.
Bob Parker, Fox Sports, for both of you. How would you describe Austin's kind of attitude or approach? Do you feel like he's racing as if he feels like he's racing for his job? Do you feel like he's racing feeling like, okay, I'm still a young driver just trying to improve? Where do you see him?
I think, Bob, I wouldn't use that form of description. He's a fellow who's been frustrated, but he's come along, and particularly the last 5 or 6 races, we've seen a great deal of progress. He's never lost his desire, his intensity, his I use the word desire to win. And if we give him a good car like we did today, like Brian and the team did, and as Brian said, we had 3 good dark horse Mustangs today, he demonstrated. One other thing, I thought that toward the end of the race, when the 12 and the 20 were putting on such a great show for the spectators here today, it was worth the price of admission, I think. As a fan, I enjoyed that. I was watching Austin, and he was patient. He didn't push the issue. There were some guys on him, and he just hung in there and drove. But I will tell you, Bob, he has not lost his desire, and this is a real reaffirming circumstance from today. So we just talked about it in victory lane. So we've never lost faith in Austin Cindric, I promise you.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Justin Bradley from Fox 19 Cincinnati. Yesterday I talked to Austin about building speed, and you guys obviously had a lot of speed today. And you put yourself in the right position. A lot of times you got to have a complete race, and you guys really were there in position, and you did have a complete race. So how does that build momentum for you guys going forward?
Yeah, I feel like that's been a focus of ours. We feel like we've had a lot of really good Saturdays. Practices have been strong, qualifying has been strong for us at times. And so for us to be able to have a complete weekend, start the race with good speed, make sure we executed it, and we can stay up front, run in the top 5 for a majority of the day, I think it says a lot about the progress of our team, where we're at, being able to take the speed that we find on Saturdays, kind of in perfect situations where you're practicing by yourself, clean air, qualifying where it's just single lap, and then take all that speed and translate that into a really strong Sunday to where Austin's happy with the car. We made minimal changes throughout the day to keep up with the track, and I just think it speaks to where the team's at.
I think if I just comment on that too as well, the strategy that Brian and Paul and Jonathan utilized, that when some people went to 2 tires early on, and they maintained their game plan. They stuck with their game plan. And who knows, when you're back running 23rd, 24th, and something happens, a caution, and all of a sudden you're in trouble. But these guys stuck with it, and it paid off at the end basically for all 3 of them.
All right, we're going to go right up here.
Hey, I'm Benjamin Hockman from the St. Louis newspaper, the Post-Dispatch. From more of a storytelling standpoint, can you talk about how special this is for Austin and his family, some of the family members you might know a little bit?
Well, I know his father very well. You might imagine, and I was with his father the last 2 days at our race in Detroit, and I just talked to his dad. I called him. I know how important it is to him. I mean, there may be an extra measure of pressure on Austin, frankly, because father we've given him the responsibility for our race team operations. But I can tell you, Austin's a driver, and his dad's is a manager, and the 2 don't meet at all. Believe me. In fact, he probably holds Austin to a little bit higher standard than everybody else. So again, this is a great day for Austin and for his family. As I said, his dad was overjoyed that I just talked to him.
This is a question for Brian, Job Thornton, Herald Publications. How you win, so that puts you in the playoffs now. How does that changes your strategy for next week? I mean, it makes it a lot easier, doesn't it, to take that pressure off of you, because you guys are in now, so.
In some ways, it makes it easier for sure, but we're also in a situation where we know we need to keep making the progress that we've been making. We've been making gains. Where we started the year isn't going to be good enough at the time of the playoffs. So we know that we have to keep trying things, and we have to keep making sure that every facet of our game, all the track styles that we go to, are strong. And so I think that gives you a little bit of flexibility to maybe try something if you need to. But I don't know that we're going to get too far off the path that we've been taking that's been showing progress for us.
All right, we're gonna go right up here in the white shirt.
This is a question for Brian. Samuel Stubbs, yardbarker.com. Joey Logano won here a couple years ago. Ford very fast this weekend in practice and qualifying. And they were very fast here last year too. How much did you lean on your teammate Joey Logano? How much did you lean on other Fords as well to maybe glean some information and then use that to your advantage? You know, your win comes with the misfortune of your teammate, but a big win for you guys. How did you learn from your teammates and Ford in particular for this track?
Yeah, I think that's when a notebook works at its best. When you can take something that worked well. Austin was very happy with his car last year. We knew what we needed to work on. He had a solid day, but as you mentioned, we've got notes from the 12 car we ran well last year and from the 22 a couple of years ago. I think the way that it works the best is when you can take pieces of that, you can try to look at what was different and what maybe made them better than what you were, and incorporate those into your setup. So without a doubt, we took a lot of that information. You know, to be honest with you, a lot of the information from where the 22 they tested at Wilkesboro. There are some short track aspects to the setup here. So some of the work that the 22 had done recently was incorporated as well. You know, within the Ford Wheel Force program, we gained a lot of information there as well. So that's when a notebook really works well, is when you can combine that all and give your driver what he needs.
One other thing I'd like to, if I could just comment on that. Those of you who are familiar with the shop where these men work in Mooresville, North Carolina, we have one big floor, and the crew chiefs all have their offices next to each other. One guy's not here, the other one's not over there. They're all together. And at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, win, lose, or draw, there'll be a 2-hour debrief call, where this race will be dissected. And Brian and his colleagues are there, and the drivers are there, and we have engineers in there. So you asked about learning, those have all been learning experiences. So we've gleaned a lot of information from what happened here today. So good question.
Thank you.